Hey guys, this is a study guide for your test that opens on February 5th and goes to February 14th. It's Appeasement, pre-World War II, and also the start of World War II. So you may see a political cartoon that has a bunch of serpents looking like Nazis with a swastika, basically saying one more lollipop and then you all go home. That's alluding to the policy of appeasement, where Hitler was given what he wanted: the Sudetenland, the Rhineland, Czechoslovakia, Austria, and he didn't keep his promise of peace. But we all know Hitler's a liar. Another thing you may see: World War II, how was it affected by geography? The big thing is Germany, when they tried to invade, all of Europe and take over, North Africa, Europe, it was just too big. The geography was too big. And then when they invaded the Soviet Union on the Eastern Front with Operation Barbarossa, it was too much for them. The geography is too big. And the harsh climate was freezing, just like when the Napoleon attacked. Physical feature that made the Soviet Union vulnerable to invasion, German forces. The big thing is the Northern European plain. Just all this flat land that was easy to cross initially to invade the Soviet Union. There weren't many natural barriers. But the Russians are going to find Russia's natural barrier is going to be what they call general winter. The Russian winter is going to slow down the attack of the Nazis. All sorts of things. The Munich Agreement was all about appeasing the Nazis. And when Neville Chamberlain went to Munich and gave up all sorts of different countries' land to the Nazis, that policy of appeasement just gave in to the demands of the aggressors, and it was a failed policy. So Neville Chamberlain, a year before the war broke out in 1938, he negotiated all these countries to give their land to the Nazis. This policy was called appeasement, and it's just going to make Hitler more powerful. Now, causes of World War II. World War I was a cause. The Treaty of Versailles was a cause. Failure of the economies were a cause. The fascist leaders in Germany, like Hitler and Mussolini in Italy, were a cause. And Tojo in Japan. Excuse me, sorry. But military invasions. These are all causes of World War II. Other things. What was the factor that aided the Russians in defeating Napoleon's troops and Hitler's troops? The harsh climate conditions, the cold winters, and all the land. During World War I and II, the economic policies of many governments were designed to ration goods and limit goods because all the goods went to the war effort. Now, here's a throwback question. Mohandas Gandhi and the Salt March. Why did Gandhi do the Salt March? He did this once: civil disobedience, nonviolence against the British. And that's just a past question that's in there. Germans' attack plan, the German Blitzkrieg, why did it succeed? The relatively flat terrain. Blitzkrieg was a new form of lightning war that nobody had seen before. It used planes, tanks, armored vehicles, and troops, lightning fast attacks to crush defenses. It was the exact opposite of World War I's trench warfare. And at first, the Germans were pretty much unstoppable, and they rolled through Europe. Now, what event caused the policy of appeasement to be viewed as a failure? The big event was when the Germans invaded Czechoslovakia and didn't just take the Sudetenland. The Germans just took all of Czechoslovakia. Then I think people realized this Hitler guy is horrible. Which geographic factor was most significant in helping the Soviet Union defeat the Germans? Well, that's easy. It was the long distances and the harsh winters and the freezing temperatures helped the Soviets beat the Germans in World War II and also defeat Napoleon. Which of these events happened first? The first event in World War II was Germany's invasion of Poland in 1939. That is the first event. You may take a look at a map, areas of German aggression from 1936 to 1939. You'll see before the war, Germany's taken all sorts of land. They're taking Austria, parts of Czechoslovakia. They took the Rhineland back. They took all this land, and that's just showing that the Germans were ready for war. Now, you may see a political cartoon with two cats, one with a Nazi symbol and the other representing the Empire of Japan. And you'll see mice, and they're like surrounded themselves with, just some books. How to Win at Your Doorstep. Why not to help our allies? So this cartoon is basically showing the failures of appeasement and these pre-war ideas when people should have stood up to the Japanese and the Nazis, but they didn't. Another question, which groups accused of violating human rights in the city of Nanjing during World War II? That would be the Japanese, and sometimes it's referred to as the rape of Nanjing or Nanking, but that's when the Japanese, before World War II, went to China and basically destroyed a city and its population. Japan's invasion of Manchuria, Italy's attack of Ethiopia, and Germany's Blitzkrieg in Poland are examples of military aggression. The reason Japan invaded the Southeast Asian countries during World War II was to get all sorts of natural resources. That was the big thing. Japan needed those natural resources. They wanted oil and they wanted rubber. Those are natural resources. During the 1930s, the joint act of appeasement by the British and French was giving Czechoslovakia the Sudetenland to Germany. And appeasement fails because if people would have stood up to Hitler, he even admitted he would have backed down. And you may see a cartoon with Chamberlain dressed as a maid, Hitler crying in a baby bed, and his bottle says the Munich Agreement, and in his hand he's given added concessions. And it says, shh, he'll be quiet now, maybe. And we all know Hitler was not quiet. In 1939, he started World War II. Watch this a few times. Get ready to take that test. I want you guys to do well on that test. Go to Clever, then use the Castle Learning section. You have a few days to take it. Thanks for watching. Good luck.